Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Bill with Franklin Loan Center, and here we are Wednesday again. And I wanted to talk about this report's actually a couple weeks old, almost a couple weeks old, but it came out, and actually I saw it get a bunch of news play, and it's regards to the foreclosures that are happening, right? And so of course foreclosures are really important, and of course there's always going to be some level of foreclosures. But the report came out, and let's see, month over month, foreclosures were up 34%, and year over year up 28%. And those are big numbers. I mean, there's no question that that's a big deal. A couple of things that are important about that number that got reported is there's really three phases, if you will, to a foreclosure process. And it depends on what state you're in. They call them different things, but there's an initial notice of default. So you run behind on your mortgage for at least 90 days in most cases before a mortgage company will even start a foreclosure proceeding, right? So you could be behind 90 days and you're not even being picked up in this information. But then once a notice of default, that's phase one. That's the bank saying, hey, you're in trouble, you're in default, we need to get this fixed, right? And then again, every jurisdiction's a little bit different, but then, in a lot of cases, another 90 days later, the bank can file a notice to actually move. In California, it's called a notice of sale. And that means, hey, we've given you 90 days to try and fix this. Now we're saying, look, the only other option here is we're going to sell your house. I mean, that's what that foreclosure, we're in a non-judicial state, which most of the states in the US are, which means it's just, there's no court proceeding. They give you the notice of default, they give you 90 days to fix it, then they give you another, in California, 14 days to fix it from there, and then they auction your house off, right? So that's just generally how it works, and this report picks up all of that data, right? So it's looking at anything that's moved through these different stages, and this is a quarterly report, and so if there had been, so if it went from notice of default to notice of sale in the same quarter, it only records the most recent part. And then of course the last part is the bank repossession. So the bank either auctions the house off, and a private party buys it at auction, or the bank takes it back. So those are the three steps. This report picks up all three. I think one of the things that's super important about this report is, you can see, so on this side, we've got, this is from 2005, right? So this is before the 2008 madness. This goes up to 2008, and then it goes all the way back over here, right? So when you're looking over here, you can see that, so this vertical line down, what that's representing is there was a moratorium. It was against the law to foreclose on a property. It's how it wasn't zero, I'm still unclear, but somehow it was. So it dropped way down. But then you can see over here, this is where the numbers are finally in a position where now they're coming back up. Now, think about the things that we've been through already. We got through the end of oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the word, but there was the period where you could just stop making your payment. And then so that finally stopped. Everyone had to get on making their payments. That did not cause a big uptick, which I was worried it would. It didn't have really any impact. And now we've been about a year where banks can foreclose again. And you can see that, yes, it is going up. That's to be expected. And especially in this chart, because it records everything, right? So probably we're really starting to see the first of these repos actually happening, right? So it's actually coming through the process, and people are losing their homes. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. But I think when you look at it in a historical perspective here, yes, it's on the rise, but it's still just not even quite to the point where we were in 2005, which was even pre all of the craziness that went on with the last recession. So we'll see. It's definitely something that's worth keeping your eye on. Another really important aspect of this is, we have such low inventory right now, and on average, people have so much equity. There's going to be a big chunk of these people that do get into trouble, but they have enough equity where they're actually going to be able to just sell the house. And to all my realtor friends out there, to me, that's something that is going to become an important part of this market, is forget about short sales and all of that stuff. I mean, that may be coming too, but I think the more important part is let's find these people that are getting into trouble, but also quite paralyzed by the market. They're afraid to, to make the next step. It's just, it's terrifying, right? And if we're there as, someone that can help them through the process, I think that's a good thing. So, that is it. This is kind of a long one today, so I apologize for that, but it is important. Let's keep this in perspective. I do not see this glut of inventory coming that's going to really change our market. We could frankly use the inventory. It's not the way I'd like to see it come, but if it's coming, we could probably absorb the majority of it because, again, a large chunk of these people have equity. So that's it. I'll see you all next week.